NASCAR racing and learn how to wreck some without wrecking yourself.
Nobody's catching us. 77. So awesome.
This is 10 to Go, the source for NASCAR top 10s, because God knows no one else is going to do it.
Another car length over Cope. Labonte can't do anything with Cope either. Earnhart's car blows up.
For this list, we're taking a look back at the top 10 biggest upsets that occurred on restrictor plate racetracks since the induction of the restrictor plate in 1988. This is limited to points-paying races only, so Denny Hamlin's rookie win and Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s 2008 win in the shootout will not be listed. Be sure to also check out the last list on this topic, the biggest upsets in NASCAR over the last 20 years, that deals with only non-plate tracks. Link in the description. This list is ranked based on relevancy and overall improbability of the victor based on that driver's statistics at the time of the win. Green flag, 10 to go. Number 10, Ryan Reed, 2015 Alert Today Florida 300. Ryan Reed had a modest start to his Xfinity Series career, only racking up a meager 2 top 10s, but maintaining a relatively decent average finish. Considering how Roush Fenway has been struggling the last few years, that's actually quite an accomplishment for a rookie with little experience.
Here comes Ryan Reed to the inside.
That all changed at Daytona in 2015, where Reed was able to make a turn 3 pass on Brad Keselowski on the final lap and hold off for his first career victory.
Reed trying to block his teammate Chris Buescher. Here's the checkered flag. Ryan Reed wins it at Daytona. What a finish.
Number 9, Bobby Hamilton, 2001 Talladega 500. Just a few months following the death of Dale Earnhardt, the first restrictor plate race since that dark day went completely caution-free. Bobby Hamilton, at age 43, had not posted a win since 1998 and managed only 3 top 10s the season before. It was clear to most that his career was winding down. Then this race at Talladega came around and proved that he still had a win left in him, scoring Andy Petrie his first of 2 series wins in a clean, exciting finish. This was also Bobby Hamilton's final of 4 career wins. Number 8, Jamie McMurray, 2007 Coke Zero 400 and 2010 Daytona 500. Jamie McMurray isn't the only driver on this list that's managed to pull off multiple separate unlikely wins on restrictor plate tracks, but his 2007 win at the Coke Zero 400 was an unlikely scenario that paid off.
26 car won in his second career start. Has not won in the last 166 races.
Jamie entered the Coke Zero 400 in 2007, still having yet to back up his solitary 2002 victory at Charlotte in his second career start, and struggled to find his footing at Roush Fenway Racing after 2006. But he managed to pull off the win in a side-by-side victory with Kyle Busch.
Momentum, and he's going to get to the line. Coming to the checkers. Oh, whoa! That was close. I don't know. Waiting for scoring.
And just to put a period on the statement, Jamie then went on 3 years later to win the Daytona 500 in his first career start with Earnhardt Ganassi Racing. McMurray also went on to win the fall Talladega race 3 years later, but let's face it, we knew not to count him out at this point.
Checkered flag in the air, the 52nd Daytona 500 to Jamie McMurray.
Number 7, James Buescher, 2012 Drive for COPD 300. James Buescher maintained a lead lap car all day long, but sat quietly mid-pack. Following a season where Buescher only saw 3 top 10 finishes, he took the final restart running 9th. When the white flag dropped, it looked like a race between Trevor Bayne, both Busch brothers, and Joey Logano. But as the leaders exited 4, a massive wreck took out the entire top 10. The first driver to see the checkered flag was James Buescher, who was running 11th before the crash. This still stands as James Buescher's only career win in the Xfinity Series.
Caution flag has just been called. The race leader is James Buescher in the 30 car.
Number 6, John King, 2012 Nextera Energy Resources 250. In just his 8th career start, John King pulled off an unprecedented rookie win in a race that was marred by multi-truck accidents. The red number 7 managed to stay out of trouble on a final restart, and as the white flag dropped, a vicious wreck that saw the 22 of Joey Coulter flipping into the catch fence resulted in the race being called, and John King the victor.
And that will mean John King will win at Daytona.
This would go on to stand as John King's only career top 5 finish in the series to date, but that night was certainly an upset that now stands forgotten in obscurity.
John King, a winner at Daytona International
Number 5,
Speedway.
Phil Parsons, 1988 Winston 500. Imagine someone like Casey Mears or Landon Castle, someone unsung and underfunded but still relatively young and not necessarily a bad driver, going out this Sunday and winning the 500. Something of that nature is exactly what happened in the first Restrictor Plate race at Talladega in 1988. In his 111th career start, Phil Parsons managed to inherit the lead with 15 to go from Jeff Bodine, and on a final 6-lap shootout, held off Jeff and a hard-charging Bobby Allison to take his first and only Career Cup Series checkered flag.
Cannot do it. Still, Parsons is going to win his first Winston Cup race. There's a checkered flag. Parsons wins. Allison.
This being the first plate race to run at Talladega was just the beginning of why we now call these tracks the Great Equalizers. Number 4, Brad Keselowski, 2009 Aaron's 499. The infamous race that brought us this crash that no one will ever forget also saw a huge beneficiary in the name of Brad Keselowski. Making just his 5th career series start, Brad tandem drafted to the front on the final lap and in the tri-oval, faked to the outside, then outsmarted Carl's block by simply not moving, causing Carl to turn across his front bumper and go airborne. As stated by Brad, this was due to a rule where he was not allowed to go beneath the yellow line to make a pass, one which resulted in Regan Smith's win being taken away a year prior at Talladega. And in the organization's 20 years of competition, this is car owner James Finch's first and only career win.
To the flag. Oh, Brad Keselowski won this race.
Number 3, Derek Cope, 1990 Daytona 500. No doubt one of the races everyone was waiting for on this list. The Daytona 500 win that could have been for Dale Earnhardt. And though Earnhardt went on to win the famed race 8 years later, one's heart can't help but sink watching that famed 3 turn 3 and slow abruptly.
Car blows up. Earnhardt blows the tire in turn number 3. Derek Cope down.
The beneficiary, Derek Cope and Whitcomb Racing, whose humble team, with only 2 years of competition behind them, pulled off this amazing upset that no one will ever forget.
The spot. Earnhardt's not a factor here. Cope, hold off the challenge of Labonte. Derek Cope wins the Daytona 500.
Unfortunately for Cope, this would go on to stand as one of only 2 victories he'd achieve, and Whitcomb Racing closed their Cup Series doors in 1992. They certainly will not be forgotten for this infamous win. Number 2, Trevor Bayne, 2011 Daytona 500.
He said he got all the fuel in the car.
All week long coverage did not ignore the possibility that someone new or unheard of could sneak in and steal the win, with Regan Smith in the 78 and his speed week strength being consistently highlighted. Toward the end of the race, it looked as if David Reagan would be taking home the flag, but a penalty for jumping the restart doomed his chances, making it a shootout between Kurt Busch, Trevor Bayne, Bobby Labonte, and Juan Pablo Montoya. Trevor Bayne was able to hold off a strong charge from Carl Edwards and David Gilliland, masterfully defending the lead and holding out to become the youngest winner in Daytona 500 history.
Trevor Bayne is going to win the Daytona 500.
This is also the first Daytona 500 win for the Wood brothers since David Pearson in 1976, as well as their first NASCAR win in 10 years. Yeah, I know you all are pretty eager to know what could top Trevor Bayne on this list, but before that, white flag. Here's some honorable mentions.
Checkered flag is out.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's official.
All right! Victory lane. Checkered flag is up, and Ward Burton is going to win the 44th Daytona 500.
And the Florida Dodge dealer 250 goes to Dodge and Robert Presley. They come to the tri-oval. Remember, the start-finish line is here.
And he gets it. Yeah.
And what a run by Bobby Labonte.
Jimmy Johnson.
Caution is out. The leaders had already taken the white flag.
Here they come, down to the line, and it's going to be Greg Saxon first.
And the checkered flag goes to.
Now the headlines are going to read that Front Row Motorsports finished first and second.
David Reagan for doing this exact feat not once, not twice, but 3 different times, each one more unlikely than the last. The first one comes in the 2009 Aaron's 312, where Reagan, still looking for his first career NASCAR victory, threaded the needle on the final lap between Tony Raines and Dale Earnhardt Jr. to beat out Ryan Newman by half a car length in one of the worst examples of sports commentary we've ever seen.
Junior up high. David Reagan is there. And here comes David Reagan.
How about Joey Logano coming in third?
David Reagan gets the win at Talladega. Gets the win.
Reagan, 2 years later, had recently found out he will not be returning to drive the 6 in the 2012 Sprint Cup Series season. He did, however, manage to avenge his failed bid at the Daytona 500 earlier that year with his first career win in the Coke Zero 400 in his 5th full-time season.
They're wrecking everywhere now. They're wrecking again.
Reagan with sweet redemption gets the victory at Daytona.
Edwards continues to show the way. They're banging up there towards the front of the pack. David Reagan to the bottom of the racetrack.
But David Reagan didn't even let being canned get in his way of proving he's out there to win. In no doubt the biggest Talladega upset, David Reagan, now driving for the humble Front Row Motorsports, led a 1-2 finish for the team at the 2013 Aaron's 499.
Coming back to the start-finish line up front, it is David Reagan all by himself. Here he comes through the tri-oval, and David Reagan has won here at Talladega. He wins the Aaron's 499.
The fact that Reagan managed to do this more than once when he's all but ruled out is impressive, but to come back with even less of a chance and make it a hat trick makes this the biggest restrictor plate upset in NASCAR history.
If you like the list, give it a like and share it with your friends. If you want to see more lists like this, be sure to subscribe. Disagree or want to share your list? Leave a comment. See you guys next time, bye.